Look at the Arizona desert after nightfall. For miles in any direction, there are no paved roads, no light pollution, and almost zero permanent human habitation. The only fragile thread connecting this expanse to the outside world was a single rural telecommunications outpost, sitting on the edge of the wilderness, activated. The night operator on duty scrambled to the switchboard. One specific indicator light had lit up, signaling a closed circuit from the exterior lines. Plugging into the jack, they expected a voice, perhaps a stranded motorist or a line worker. Instead, the receiver broadcasted nothing but a dry, rhythmic static. A mechanical connection had been completed from a grid sector known to be completely empty. Someone or something had deliberately triggered the line. This antique map details the state's telecom grids. By dawn, authorities pulled these schematics to trace the electrical path. Operators tracked the connection back through the relays, narrowing the origin to a single, isolated county. This diagram illustrates a trunk line, a main artery of copper wire extending outward from the hub to connect distant nodes. The active signal traveled down one specific trunk line, leading straight into the deepest part of the wasteland. Out there, the infrastructure consisted entirely of tall wooden poles, suspending miles of heavy wire over the heartpan. The switchboard mechanics were checked and cleared. The routing data confirmed a physical circuit had closed out in the elements, at a very specific pole marker. Investigators arrived at that exact coordinate shortly after sunrise. They fanned out, conducting a methodical grid search radiating from the base of the telephone pole, looking for any sign of a person. The ground told a completely different story from the switchboard. The crust of the desert floor was undisturbed. Walking or driving to that specific pole requires crossing miles of fragile dirt. Yet there were no tire ruts, no animal tracks, and absolutely no footprints approaching the relay box. The official incident report filed later that week formalized the conflicting accounts. Investigators did note one distinct environmental anomaly recorded during the window of the event: localized high-velocity wind gusts. This diagram demonstrates the Aeolian harp theory. Engineers hypothesized extreme wind vibrating the copper wires generated static friction, sending a false electrical impulse. However, static electricity cannot bridge a physical gap. Activating a switchboard requires manually closing a relay switch. The investigation stalled. The telecom hardware proved a physical connection occurred, while the untouched terrain proved a physical presence was impossible. Lacking any logical explanations, authorities filed the report away, and the physical search was abandoned. Over the following decades, the story of the ringing line faded from official records and slowly transformed into the realm of local folklore. It highlights a specific modern anxiety, extending our technological networks into environments we still don't fully understand. The case of the Midnight Caller remains an open file in Arizona's historical archives, marking the exact point where forensic science runs out of data. The desert maintains its vacuum, indifferent to the wires strung across it. We have mapped nearly every inch of the continent, yet an unexplained